egg just got thrown.
Can you throw something again?
There's a guy just come up to the side window with a fan and looked in.
Yeah, move that bloody pineapple, Jordan.
Going into the woods alone at night can be downright terrifying. But what if you stumble upon something or someone you'd rather not face? Tonight, we're uncovering 6 of the most spine-chilling encounters ever caught on camera. These stories will have you thinking twice before ever setting foot in the woods alone again. Let's jump straight into the first unsettling encounter. The first video tonight comes from Sort of Interesting, a UK-based exploration and adventure channel focused on quiet night walks, rural curiosities, and solo journeys through the countryside. It is March 13th, 2026 in the United Kingdom. Rural woodland surrounding St. Mary's Plower Church and Nant Mill Woods.
Heading into the Nant Mill and Plas Power Woods. As the name suggests, there was once upon a time a mill operating here, and you'll see throughout this video that there are loads of areas of the clear evidence of the manipulation of the water's flow, and it leads to what is today an absolutely...
The explorer begins a midnight walk through the historic woodland, following paths that weave past old mill channels and streams that once powered the area. As he moves through the quiet forest, he reflects on several recent encounters that have unsettled him. Although he is usually comfortable exploring alone at night, he admits that a series of incidents over the past few weeks has made him increasingly cautious. The stillness of the woodland, combined with his thoughts, creates a subdued but uneasy atmosphere as the walk begins.
I don't know, maybe the last 6 weeks or so. So I had a very strange thing happen while I was actually doing a live stream. I sat for about an hour in a random bit of woodland on a rainy, miserable Sunday evening.
He recalls a recent live stream where he had been sitting alone in the dark for around an hour. After briefly stepping away to show a nearby river, he returned to find someone standing exactly where he had been, holding a torch. The timing feels too precise to dismiss easily, leaving him questioning how long the person may have been there.
Maybe hoping that I'd left some kit behind or something like that. But since then, I actually discovered, opposite that area, what appeared to be a site that had been camped on where all the ground had been flattened down, maybe only 200 feet from that location. And again, it just makes you wonder, was I being observed for an hour while I...
During another early morning hike, he describes turning around on a dark mountain path to see a light shining behind him. The light appears exactly where he had just walked moments before, then disappears just as suddenly, leaving no indication of who or what had been there. On a separate occasion, while sitting in his car late at night in a quiet countryside car park, another vehicle pulls in directly behind him. Despite the open space, the car positions itself close, briefly illuminating the back of his head with its headlights, before suddenly driving away without explanation. Reflecting on these experiences, the explorer acknowledges that none of the incidents can be fully explained. What stands out most is not the wilderness itself, but the unpredictability of encountering other people in remote locations. The repeated nature of these encounters has shifted his perspective, making isolation feel less like solitude and more like uncertainty. Despite this, he continues the walk as a way of rebuilding confidence, taking a measured step back into the quiet, unfamiliar spaces that once felt completely safe. Before we move on, if you're enjoying the video so far, leaving a like really helps. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a good time. We recently passed 50,000 subscribers, and that's entirely because of you. The next target is 100,000 before the end of the year. Ambitious, but worth aiming for. There's a hidden word somewhere in this video. See if you can spot it. Now, let's continue. The next horrifying video comes from Maximalist Minibus Van Life, a US-based channel documenting van life, camping, and off-grid living. The content highlights the realities of staying in remote locations, including the unexpected situations that can arise during overnight stays. It is September 10th, 2025, at a rural campground in the United States.
Maybe the hammock is next. I'm going to put the camera on this little footstool that I always put in front of my tent when I close it up for the night. It's basically just shooting right next to the bus. Probably not the most exciting place to put the camera. Probably should put it over by the creek. But for the first night, I don't even know if...
At around 2:30 a.m., headlights pass along a nearby road. Moments later, a man enters the camera's view. He is wearing a baseball cap and glasses and appears to be carrying a bag. Moving slowly, he walks across the campsite, looking around as he approaches the tent.
Coming back around for another chance. And this time, he's not going to just look inside the tent. This time, yeah. Give him a second. There he goes. He's coming right to the tent. And look at this. He moves the camera. I mean, he moves the camera. I guess he doesn't know it's a camera, but he moves the steps with the camera so that he can unzip the tent and get inside. And then he's inside the tent for all. You can hear him clunking around, moving things, stuff like that, moving stuff around. And then the movement stops, so the camera kind of stops recording. And, you know, I spliced these together. This wasn't all one. It was just one stopped and then the other.
The situation escalates as the man moves the step stool out of his way and unzips the tent. He climbs inside and begins going through belongings for several minutes before eventually leaving the campsite and disappearing back into the darkness. Reviewing the footage the following morning, the host realizes just how close the stranger came while they were asleep. After checking the campsite, no major valuables appear to be missing. Only small, basic items, such as hand sanitizer, rubbing alcohol, and toilet paper, are gone. While the items taken suggest the man may have been searching for essentials rather than valuables, the fact that someone entered the tent unnoticed during the night leaves the encounter deeply unsettling, highlighting the vulnerability that can come with camping in isolated areas. The next chilling video comes from Steps to Adventure, a UK-based van life and travel vlog channel documenting overnight park-ups, stealth camping, and the realities of staying in unusual or risky locations. Their content blends lighthearted travel with genuine tension when situations become unpredictable. It is August 13th, 2024, in the Lake District, England, United Kingdom, a remote roadside lay-by. The couple arrive at a quiet lay-by in the Lake District, planning to spend the night in their camper van. Almost immediately, the atmosphere feels off. The location is known locally for unusual nighttime activity, and within minutes of parking, multiple vehicles begin arriving. People can be seen walking into the nearby woods, creating a sense that something unusual is happening around them.
The slide door shut, van drove off, and he walked straight into the woods. And it was last minute because we was like in the back and we had all the blinds down, so we wasn't looking. And then I could hear people. So as I got to the side, you just saw him. That van has just come back again. That's just weird, isn't it? He went past so slow then, didn't it?
That was really weird. Well, by the way, I am drying my dishes with a full towel because it's van life and I don't have a,
As darkness settles in, the situation escalates. A man exits one of the vehicles and walks directly toward their van, stopping nearby and watching. The lack of interaction, combined with his proximity, raises tension as they remain inside, unsure of his intentions.
It's my heart's pounding. There's a guy just come up to the side window with a fan and looked in.
Yeah, move that bloody pineapple, Jordan.
I'm actually shaking. Look. Is he just gone into the woods?
Yeah, get rid of that bloody pineapple. pineapple, man. Get that pineapple out of the window right now.
It's the weirdest thing ever. Like, honestly, my heart's pounding. The woods are literally at this side of this window where he's just gone into. A man just come to the side window with a thingy, and I spotted him last second. He looked through and I was like, whoa, get in. Oh, Elise, look, Elise.
Well,
We're eating tea here as well.
yeah.
Honestly, look at that. Look at that.
Right, dive over and get rid of the pineapple.
Dive over, you mad? There's a bloody bloke
What's
in
he
the
to do?
woods
We're locked in.
there. Oh, just takes a brick to put through the side window, you did.
Deciding the situation is no longer safe, they leave the lay-by. As they drive away, a vehicle begins following them closely, flashing its headlights. The couple quickly head toward a nearby town and pull into a train station to put distance between themselves and the situation. Looking back on the experience, the couple later learn more about the area and its reputation, which helps explain the unusual activity they witnessed. What initially seemed like a strange but manageable overnight stop quickly became a situation where they felt exposed and unsafe. The experience reinforces how quickly an unfamiliar location can shift from quiet to threatening, especially after dark, and highlights the importance of trusting instincts when something feels wrong. The next shocking video of the night comes from Wyanlu, a US-based outdoor adventure and stealth camping channel focused on immersive nighttime explorations. The content blends survival, coastal camping, and real-time reactions, often capturing the natural and sometimes unsettling sounds of remote environments. It is March 3rd, 2026 at Higbee Beach, east coast of New Jersey, United States.
We're on the east coast of New Jersey.
The group begins their evening with a stop at a local lobster house before heading toward Higbee Beach to set up camp. As they arrive on the coastline, they find a quiet, discreet spot near the shoreline and begin setting up tarps, sleeping bags, and blankets. In the distance, the Cape May ferry passes through the dark water. As night settles in, the cold and isolation of the beach create a subdued but tense atmosphere.
Okay, we made it to the final camp spot. If you can see, that is the Cape May ferry pulling in. We're just off to the side here. Take you back to the camp spot. Transition to the mountains. This is my gear. I've got the reindeer hide, a couple of doohickeys, blankets, sleeping bag.
I'm scared. There's chickens in there.
Yeah, a little city here. See the Cape May ferry? Yeah, I did. Okay, we made it. We're all set up for a good night. Set up here with the tarp, tent, Walmart, and we got the My pillow, North Face sleeping bag, just a junk sleeping bag. We got a reindeer fur, and then a classic foam mat. And I have a little wine for drinking. I brought this little chair. potential in that, you better believe it. Hit my shin doing that. We have the Merlot black box.
You cannot say black.
Don't talk black. But I don't think that's happening. And then, yeah, me and Pat are gonna just walk around the city all night. From 8 o'clock to 2 a.m. Yeah. We're gonna finally find the right bar. Whoa. Think. Here we are. Drinking Josh. Under the bright moon here. Probably can see me.
Without warning, a strange whistling sound is heard outside the camp. None of the group members are making the noise. At the same time, distant coyotes begin howling across the shoreline. The combination of unfamiliar sounds and the empty surroundings heightens the tension.
The lighthouse, I think. So we're gonna look at it, right?
Further along the beach, they come across signs of storm damage. Broken trees, scattered debris, and traces of dead wildlife are visible along the shoreline. The harsh conditions of the environment become more apparent, reinforcing how exposed and isolated the area is. The night blends a calm camping experience with moments of quiet tension, strange whistling, distant animal calls, and the aftermath of storm damage all contribute to an atmosphere that feels both natural and unsettling. Despite this, the group remains composed, continuing to document their surroundings methodically. The experience leaves the impression of a location where isolation amplifies every sound, turning even ordinary elements of the environment into something far more unsettling after dark. The next video comes from PRS Investigators, a UK-based paranormal investigation team exploring haunted woods, abandoned locations, and areas tied to local folklore. It is October 31st, 2023 in Pluckley, Kent, England, a wooded area near the village known for its ghost stories.
That was ever really loud. It sounded like it was at the back more.
I thought it was around that way.
I thought it was ahead.
You saw it was at the front?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we always get activity from in front of us.
I thought it was behind. If that was you, spirits, can you do it again? What was that then?
The investigation begins with the team setting up REM pods and night vision equipment in the dark woodland. Almost immediately, a loud twig snaps nearby. The sound is sharp and close, interrupting the quiet and suggesting movement somewhere in the trees, setting an uneasy tone from the outset.
Did it scream?
Yeah, I had a scream then.
It did sound like that. That's really far away.
Make a sound as loud as you can.
What was that?
What?
Something just got thrown.
What was it?
I know, it's right next to me.
Right here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
God, even I heard it.
What, something thrown?
Yeah, something. Put the light on a minute.
Really nice and warm, mate.
Make a sound.
A distorted whisper is heard from behind the investigators. No one in the group is speaking at the time, making the voice stand out clearly against the otherwise quiet environment.
You don't really like questions, do you? Whoa, bang on. Okay, thank you. I understand. You get bored of all the questions. Very
Go from left to right.
annoying. Aren't it? Yeah. Mate, yeah, I know you find it annoying, I understand. Yeah.
I expect you don't like a lot of people.
Thank you, Spirit. We respect you for that. We won't keep giving you questions if that's not what you want. We only want to find out a bit about you while you're here, that's all. I know it's hard for you to do that. For you to tell us. There's probably messages you want to give over, right? Messages you have. Probably things you want to say to us that we're not listening about, right?
Did you listen to our stories? I bet you've got quite a few stories to tell.
The temperature drops noticeably, and a nearby REM pod begins flashing and beeping. The sudden change in both temperature and equipment behavior suggests a possible interaction, drawing the team's focus toward the device. A second REM pod, positioned farther away, activates unexpectedly. The distance between the devices makes the simultaneous activity feel more deliberate, reinforcing the impression that something unseen may be moving between them. The investigation builds steadily from subtle sounds to more direct and interactive moments. Snapping twigs, distant screams, unexplained objects, and disembodied whispers create a persistent sense of being watched. The repeated REM pod activations and noticeable temperature shifts add further complexity to the experience. As the team leaves the woods, they reflect on how the combination of environmental sounds and equipment responses made the night feel unusually active, suggesting that whatever was present may have been aware of them throughout the investigation. Before we get into the next clip, around 70% of people watching aren't subscribed. We're working toward 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and if you're enjoying the video, hitting subscribe really does help. All right, let's get back to it. The last video of the night comes from the Northwest Wind, a US-based stealth camping channel focused on solo outdoor adventures in unconventional locations. The content emphasizes low-profile camping, minimal gear, and real-time experiences where quiet environments often create subtle tension. It is October 13th, 2023 in the United States, a cemetery setting. The camper arrives at the cemetery during mid-October, explaining the personal significance of the location, as several of his family members are buried there. Although the setting is calm, it is not completely empty. Visitors and dog walkers pass through as he quietly scouts a place to stay. Remaining respectful and discreet, he carefully chooses a hidden position near his truck where he is less likely to be seen. From the start, the tension comes not from anything unusual, but from the awareness of where he is and the need to remain unnoticed.
Wiener jokes and dad jokes, although I'm sure there's lots of dads and wieners that are buried here. There's a car that just pulled up, like, right there. I just don't want to be seen.
While attempting to prepare food, nearby people interrupt his plans. He pauses and waits quietly for them to leave before adjusting his setup, choosing to stay closer to his vehicle to reduce the risk of being spotted.
Primary, say it 10 times fast, spooky. Every little branch that cracks and creaks is like spooky. Nice and cozy. Actually quite comfortable. I bought a foam sleeping pad.
He hears repeated twig snapping and movement from the wooded area behind him. While likely caused by wildlife, the sounds feel amplified in the stillness, adding to the unease of the environment.
Darkest hours of the night. I actually slept. For a few hours. It's cold. Kind of eerie and creepy. So quiet and calm at the same time. That might be the longest consecutive stretch of sleep I've gotten on these camping missions so far. Several hours straight through. Grateful for that. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Definitely.
In the early morning, workers enter the cemetery and pass close to his location. He is nearly spotted, prompting him to quickly pack up and prepare to leave before drawing attention. The night passes without any direct incidents, but the tension remains constant throughout. Rather than anything physical happening, the experience is shaped by psychological pressure, the combination of isolation, silence, and the awareness of being in a place not meant for overnight stays. Despite the cold and occasional disturbances, he completes the stealth camp successfully, leaving the area without disruption. The experience highlights how even quiet, uneventful nights can feel unsettling when the environment itself carries weight. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these 6 spine-tingling encounters, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more chilling and terrifying videos. There's always another mystery waiting to be uncovered, and you won't want to miss what's next. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next video.